Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics with a bit of a roundup video. I got some really cool comic books I'm excited to show off. I have multiple surprisingly heavy boxes full of comics I've barely looked at. I also got two Bronze Age keys. One of them is actually a really big one, and I got it for an insanely good price. Either I was incredibly lucky or something fishy is going on. How's that for a hook? I'll explain when we get to the book. And last but certainly not least, I have a bit of a giveaway. Don't be too excited. This one is only for locals. I apologize to the rest of you, but it's a pretty cool opportunity for some people in the area to maybe get some free comic books. Before I show you what all this stuff is, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Let's dig into these boxes. Let's start with this box right here. This is from a friend of mine named Zach, who also happens to be a coworker. It's really fun to have a coworker who's also into comic books. Zach's appeared actually on my channel several times in the past. And what's really cool is, we know what each other is collecting and into, so we look out for one another. The thing is, me and Zach don't work in the same place or time. We're like ships in the night. So we actually left these in a drawer at work, and he sent me a message saying where to find them. I haven't really looked in here. I know there's some foreign comic books on the top. Yes, there are. And I'm not considering these a gimme, guys. He gave me a list of the comic books he's looking for. He's trying to finish his Avengers run. I have the list, and I have a stack of comic books for him. So, Zach, when I go back to work, I'll leave some comic books probably in the same place for you. I'll let you know when they're in there. So let's start with these here. These are Walt Disney comics from Sweden. So I'm going to a slightly different view here for a bit of a history lesson. All these comics are titled Kalle Anka, which is what they call Donald Duck in Swedish. Anka means duck. Kalle is like a common men's name like Carl or Charlie, so it's like Charlie Duck. Also, I think it's like a Swedish pun. But yeah, evidently, Donald Duck is a pretty popular character in Sweden. I guess they have a tradition of watching Donald Duck cartoons like on Christmas. If you are Swedish, or if you know anyone who is, let me know if that is true. So he's sort of a big deal, but these aren't just Donald Duck. You see there Kalle Anka and Co. That's because it's not just him. There are multiple stories in all of these, starring his nephews, Uncle Scrooge, and other Disney characters like Goofy and Mickey, of course. Some of these are in pretty nice shape for the age. Other ones, not so much. There's a coverless one in here, but that's no big deal. Something I think is really cool about these older European comics, especially like these ones in the 60s and 70s, this is definitely pre-Euro. They will often put different price tags up here for, all the different countries they were distributed in. So yeah, we have prices in Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Norway, which I think is pretty cool. One question I get all the time because I collect these foreign comics is how to identify where they're from. If you don't recognize the language outright, first of all, you can usually take a pretty good educated guess. But if not, if you can't figure it out from the price for the reason I just told you, because there's a million different ones, just go on the inside cover, guys, and you can look right here and usually identify a city or two that can tell you where it is. And if that still doesn't work, you can always just take a picture with your phone and either put it on eBay or Google Translate. It'll tell you immediately what it is. So these are pretty cool. I've never owned a comic book from Sweden, and now I have an entire collection from that country, all Walt Disney, Donald Duck. I am a nerd. So that's pretty cool. Excited to add these to my foreign language collection. They're not in great shape, but that's okay. They don't need to be, right? Oh yeah, these are cool. Okay. He knows I love Deadman, and he knows I love Neil Adams. So we have Jack Miller and Neil Adams, Deadman comics. We have issue number 2, number 3, and we have issue number 6. So that's cool. Like I said, he knows exactly the types of comic books that I like. Hey, here's another DC character that I'm really into. This is the John Ostrander Spectre run. I have read most of this, certainly the lower issues. So we have number 0, number 3. Some of these covers are absolutely killer, guys. Number 4, very evocative of the early Spectre run. Awesome 5, that's creepy. Cool. Number 6, that's excellent. And 22, I don't have this one. That's pretty neat. Looks like Supergirl. Yeah, I don't have these ones. I haven't got that far. So awesome, Zach. Yeah. I like my Spectre. And 2 Daredevil comic books. Let's see. We have a Brian Michael Bendis comic, Daredevil number 61. This is part of the Marvel Knights imprint. And we have Daredevil 93. This is Ed Brubaker. So awesome. Zach, thank you so much for these. Definitely I will drop off your Avengers comics the next time I head into the office. So this next box here I got from a friend of mine named Tyler, who actually has a comic book YouTube channel called Pockets Full of Comics. I mentioned Tyler on my channel in the past because last year he contacted me because he found his grandfather's comic collection. It was massive and full of incredible Golden Age comics. Unreal. The thing is, Tyler, although he was no stranger to, collectibles and had sort of traded and sold online, he didn't really know much about comic books. So he started looking them up online. That's how he found my channel. He started asking me questions. And here's the punchline, guys. Not only did he find an incredible comic collection, he jumped in with both feet. Not only is he a comic collector, he started his own YouTube channel, Pockets Full of Comics. He also buys collections and sells now. He presses his own comics, he grades them. I mean, I've never seen anyone go from 0 to 60 in comic collecting faster than Tyler did. So he sent me this big box all the way from Iowa, and there is a letter in here. And I did read the letter. I'm going to paraphrase this. He wanted to thank me for, helping him get his channel starting. He's up to 1.6 thousand followers already, which is really, really amazing. And he's having a lot of fun. So as a thank you, he just sent me this sort of I guess gift basket stuff that he just found in collections that he didn't really need. Actually, let's start with these. So we have some boxes of cards here. So we have some X-Men, looks like Series 2 trading cards. Looks like a whole set too. That's pretty cool. And we get some other ones. We get some Series 1 and 2 X-Men cards here. Awesome. Looks like we have some Marvel Series 3 cards. This is a Joe Jusko one right there. Death of Gwen Stacy. Oh yeah, everyone knows the stats are on the back. And I have no idea what these are. No idea. I'm not sure. I have to open these up and check them out. These are bizarre. I don't know what's going on with this. So I'll have to read the letter. Maybe it's in there. Oh, one more. Check this out. We got, awesome, Marvel Masterpieces Series 2, which was actually the first series I got into in the Marvel Masterpieces. I didn't get Series 1 until later. I finished it after my second one. I love this set. Absolutely love the second series of Marvel Masterpieces. Whereas the first one was all Joe Jusko. The second one, they had lots of different artists. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love these cards. Tyler certainly knows what I like as well. Oh, we get some more foreign comic books. So we have, start with these. Again, I can't do Spanish, guys. Joyas de la Mitología. Mitología? Ugh, I'm butchering it. So yeah, these are from Mexico, from the 60s. So we get some Mexico here. Oh, we get Tarzan on the back. Cool. Yeah. I don't know much about these. Let me know down in the comments if you do. Also, I always have to check in the inside. A lot of Spanish-speaking countries, you don't know which country it comes from until you check in the inside. That's pretty cool. We have some more. We have this Jose G. Cruz Santo. All right. Okay, this is not from Mexico. This appears to be Japanese. Wow, this is crazy on the inside. Oh, we have Sly Stallone there. Look at that. And Mr. T. This is cool. Look at that. So I think, yeah, this is Japanese. Wow, this is weird. Really, really cool. Interesting stuff. Yeah, this is unique in my collection, Tyler. Thank you very much. And now we have a whole bunch of mainstream comics. Let me get rid of the box here. We have, oh yeah, we get some classic X-Men. We have an X-Men one-shot parody issue. This is not published by Marvel. I have seen this before, but I do not own it. Cool. Published by Milky Way Graphics in 1986. Hey, that's pretty cool. We have Uncanny X-Men 281. This is the first appearance of the Gold Team, and it's signed by Whilce Portacio. It has a little COA in the back. Uncanny X-Men number 171. This one, Rogue joins the X-Men. We have not one, but two issues of Uncanny X-Men number 160. This is the first appearance of adult Ileana Rasputin, Colossus' sister, also known as Magic. My brain broke there for a second. We have Marvel Comics Presents 31. This is featuring the X-Men in Havoc. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. Beware the Claws of the Cat number 4. I have talked about this character in the past. She becomes Tigra, a member of the Avengers. But before she was Tigra, she was the Cat. Very cool Bronze Age comic right there. We have part of the Hercules limited series. He had a couple of limited series, so we have 2 copies of issue number 4 with Galactus there. We have another X-Men one, Ultimate Marvel X-Men. Never seen this cover before. We have an X-Men Annual, 2000. Very cool. We have X-Men and Doctor Doom. Oh, this next one's really neat. So we have the Rocketeer, Official movie adaptation, Dave Stevens cover. Awesome. And last we have Airboy. Airboy number 16. Don't know much about this one. So Tyler, very, very cool. Thank you for all of this. And yeah, definitely guys, once again, if you haven't checked out Pockets Full of Comics, it's great to see the perspective of someone who's jumping into the hobby in such an all-encompassing manner. It's really unique. There's nothing like it on YouTube. I assure you of that. Watch Pockets Full of Comics. And also, he's pulling out amazing collections out of Iowa and the Midwest all the time. I can't believe it. Definitely check them out. Thank you so much, Tyler. These are very, very cool. This next book here is actually one I got from a good friend of mine in a bit of a trade. My friend Jeff from Comics Bar, who I've mentioned on my channel many, many times. I found a comic book for him. Well, he found one for me, so this is a bit of a trade. He gave me this. This is the X-Men Wedding album from 1994. Of course, this is the wedding of Jean Grey and Scott Summers, Phoenix and Cyclops. And this was released in concert with X-Men number 30, which was the issue where they get married. And this wedding album is sort of a silly, fun comic book. You know, it's got all sorts of like different stories of things going on behind the scenes of the wedding, before the wedding and after the wedding. Yeah, it's just a cool little like supplementary thing, multiple stories, different artists, things like that. So cool. I actually have never owned this before. I've seen it a million times. I can't believe it wasn't in my collection. So Jeff, thank you so much for trading this to me. Very, very cool. So this next comic book is really cool. It's been on my wish list for a long time. When I am working with my friend Zach, I am working in the wonderful city of Boston, Massachusetts. And whenever I can go to the city, if I have a bit of time after work, I try to hit a different comic book store. Maybe I haven't seen before or one I haven't been to in a long time. And that's exactly where I got this. I went to a place years ago called the Comic Stop in Watertown, Massachusetts. Small little store, but an excellent store. I had some time, decided to swing in again after like 18 months, and it didn't disappoint. You know, it's a small store, but they have a great little wall book section, lots of great cheap comic books to dig through, tons of trade paperbacks. Also very cool, guys. I saw a young kid in there looking for vintage comic books. Awesome to see, always, right? But yeah, the wonderful owner named David, chatted him up a little bit, and I'm looking at the wall books, and I saw this book. It's been on my list for a long time, and I had to have it. It is this. This is The House of Mystery number 290. It's from 1981. Cover by Joe Kubert and Tatiana Wood. Written by J.M. DeMatteis and penciled by Tom Sutton. Now, why would I want this comic book? Well, I've talked about this on my channel in the past. I love the Justice League Dark. In fact, it's probably my favorite title that DC has. I love all those dark characters like I mentioned before with the Spectre and Deadman. And the Justice League Dark team is those darker characters. Zatanna, Constantine, Swamp Thing. And I've been trying to collect the first appearances of a lot of the characters on that team. And I have most of them, to be honest, but one of the bigger ones I was missing is this character right here, Andrew Bennett. Andrew Bennett is introduced in this comic book as it starts off a new series called I, Vampire. That was actually the name of the series. And he is a vampire. He started off centuries ago, and just like a lot of these, sort of vampire tales, he gets whisked into, modern times after centuries of slumber or whatever have you. And he became a member of the Justice League Dark team, a perfect place for a vampire type character. I've wanted this comic book for a while, but whenever I find it, it's either overpriced or in bad shape. Well, I found a perfect happy medium of both of those. I think David had this priced at $40, and he sold it to me for $35. And it's in pretty darn good shape. It has one little piece of damage at the top there, which I'm pretty sure can be pressed out. Just a little bit of a bubble, but otherwise, it's a beautiful copy, and I think it's definitely worth the $35 I paid. So guys, if you're ever in Watertown, Massachusetts, outside of Boston, Comic Stop. Quaint little stop, very small, but they have some great comic books in there, and also some really great company. David's a great person to talk comic books with. So happy, finally, to get this in my Justice League Dark first appearance collection. So now we come to the big comic book of this video, one that I probably spoiled in the thumbnail. This is a comic book that's interesting in its own right, but I think the story of how I got this and the insanely good price I got it for is equally interesting. It's this. This is The Invincible Iron Man number 55, released at the end of 1972, and this has a lot going for it. First and foremost, most of the work done in this book was by Jim Starlin. He wrote the story, he did the pencils, he did the cover. Most people associate Jim Starlin with like space-type characters and might be surprised to see an Iron Man story, but we have a lot of first appearances in this comic book tied to cosmic characters. Now, let's just get the big one out of the way. This is the first appearance of Thanos. the Mad Titan himself, which because of the MCU has become a household name. That's still insane to me, guys. If I was to go in a time machine and go back to 11-year-old me, and I was to tell me that, almost everyone in the world would know who Thanos is, I would not believe it, right? Back being a nerdy little kid collecting comic books, none of my friends knew who Thanos was. I thought Thanos was cool. I thought Infinity Gauntlet was amazing. The fact that everyone knows who he is, he's one of the biggest movie villains of all time, never ceases to blow me away. This is the first appearance of this major Marvel character. And because of that, this book is worth a bit of money. But he's not the only one that makes their first appearance in this book. It's also the first appearance of Drax the Destroyer, who once again, a character that's sort of a household name because of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the MCU. Other first appearances, we have the Blood Brothers. They're minor characters. They're henchmen of Thanos. But because we're introduced to Thanos in the Titanians, of which he is a part, he's basically like a deviant Eternal, you get to meet the rest of the Titanians. They're Eternals that live on Saturn's moon of Titan, led by his father, Mentor, also known as Alars, who we first meet in this comic book. You also meet Thanos' brother, Eros, better known as Star Fox. He appears in this comic book, although it's more of a cameo. You also get the first appearance of Kronos, who is Thanos' grandfather, super powerful being. So first appearance of Titan, all of those associated characters, Drax the Destroyer, and of course, the Mad Titan himself. This is an awesome comic book, and as someone who collects first appearances of Marvel characters and those Marvel trading cards, I gotta get those first appearances of those characters. Thanos was a major character I needed to get. And now I can finally say I have it in my collection. And this is a pretty nice copy, guys. I would call this conservatively like a 6.0. It is a white cover, at least at the top, and it is pretty dirty. I'm going to need Comic Spot to clean and press this book. Definitely, there's really only one color break on it over here near the spine. Otherwise, guys, conservatively a 6.0. I think it's a pretty nice book. And yeah, this book usually in this grade goes for around $400. So it might surprise you for me to tell you that I got this for about $125. How did I do that? Well, I'm still asking myself that question because I got this on Whatnot. So listen, I have mentioned Whatnot on my channel only a few times in the past. I did do a fun collaboration with my friends Magic Geeks last year where we did a Whatnot show and we gave away a ton of comic books. But other than that, guys, I'm a pretty busy person. I don't get to shop online that much. I try to buy my comic books at brick and mortar establishments. It's much more photogenic that way. I can make a video. I don't go on Whatnot that much at all. However, I've mentioned this in the past because I did that collaboration with my friends. I got a referral link to Whatnot. The idea is that if you sign up with my referral link, you get $15 credit when you buy something, and I get $5 credit. And listen, guys, I always say I don't want to sell things on the channel. I don't want anyone to feel like that. So I really try not to mention this. I've only mentioned it a couple times. I bury that information down in the descriptions of my video, but I keep it low key. Still, over time, I have had people use that referral link, and I've gotten, $10, $20, $30 and bought little books with that credit here and there. Well, a few months ago, I saw an email, I barely looked at it, that said Whatnot was doing a special promotion, that if someone uses your referral link, they will get a random prize in credit from $10 to $200, and whatever they got, you would get, like I would get it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I thought for sure, no one's going to get that $200, right? It's just going to be little $5 and $10 things. And that's what I saw for the first couple weeks. I saw a couple people used it. I got $10. No big deal. Then out of nowhere, I saw this thing pop up in the Whatnot app, and I got $200 credit. I got the most you can get because someone else hit that $200 credit using my referral link. At first, I thought it wasn't real. I asked friends of mine, like, hey, did you guys also get $200? Like, is this a thing going on? No one did. I checked, I looked into it, went down as many rabbit holes as I could, and it was absolutely legit. It got added to my Whatnot credit, and you add that with all the other credit I had like $300 in credit. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, rightfully so, doesn't that seem very coincidental, or at least suspicious, that a comic book social media person would get $200 on Whatnot? Honestly, I haven't talked about Whatnot in months. What are the odds of that happening? Isn't that suspicious? Yes, it is. I still am very suspicious of this, guys, but truthfully, Scout's honor, Whatnot never reached out to me before or after. For all intents and purposes, this seemed like it was a completely random, dumb luck kind of thing. I got really lucky. I mean, a little bit of it is, the law of large numbers. Enough people use that referral link. I guess the odds are pretty good. I got a lot of really tiny incremental ones. Still, guys, that's pretty darn lucky, and I don't know if, there was some pulling the strings behind the scenes at Whatnot to get me to talk about them. If they are, well played. Honestly, well played if that was their whole plan. But my point is this. I had $300 in credit burning a hole in my pocket for months. And because I haven't really gone on Whatnot, it just kind of sat there until I got to the point, listen, I really got to spend this money before I really forget about it. So I went on and I saw this show, Cosmic Comics and Toys, a show I'd seen before. I love the guy that does this because he doesn't set the books up like most people do in front of a camera. He just is in a comic shop and he just walks around and all the comics are laid out on tables and he just has people call out whatever they want. He lifted this one up. He called it a 7.0 and he said it was priced at $450. So I'm thinking, okay, obviously I have the credit that would make this hurt a lot less. I offered $400. He said, how about $425? He offered, do you want to flip a coin for $400 or $450? I said, no, $425 is fine. So I bought it, and with the credit taken out, it only cost me $125. Dumb luck. Honestly, guys, as far as I know, it's just dumb luck. I know some people are cursing my luck right now. I'm already a lucky guy as it is, so it seems that's pretty darn lucky. And again, yeah, if you're suspicious, so am I. So guys, first I want to give a shout out to Cosmic Comics and Toys. Really cool seller, really fun. I love his format. Definitely not your normal Whatnot show. And this is a killer book to get for that cheap of a price. If you guys do want to go down and use my referral link, I don't think that promotion's still going on, but hey, same thing. You can get $15 credit. I get $5. It adds up. I'm not going to get another one of these books, but maybe I'll show off a book in the future. Oh, really important. If you're the person that won that $200 as well, I'm assuming you heard about my referral link on this channel. If you're that person, absolutely let us know down in the comments. I want to know what your reaction was, and did you get a comic book or something else with that credit? I would love to hear from you, and thank you for winning that prize. That's pretty cool, and I have this thanks in part to you. That's really awesome. So these final comic books are modern comic books that were sent to me by a viewer of the channel, but this isn't just a normal fan of the channel. This is actually someone with a very cool connection to an awesome 80s cartoon, my favorite one, and some really cool comic books that just came out. I went up to my local comic book shop, His and Her Comics in Greenfield, Massachusetts. I love this store. I've mentioned it on my channel a million times. The owner, Nishan, not only is he a great seller and has a great shop, but he also serves as my unofficial mailman and post office box. People send things to me through him. At first, it was just a couple people every once in a while. Now it seems to be more often these days. I feel really bad about it, but he doesn't seem to mind that much. Still, he told me there was this box, and I had no idea who it was coming from. Even after I read, where it came from and the address, no idea whatsoever. Opened it up, and there was a letter. And this letter was from someone named Scott from Epic Entertainment. He said he was heavily into comics in the 90s and 2000s and then stopped collecting. However, he started watching my channel, and it got him back into the hobby, which honestly, guys, is the best compliment I could ever hear. That is better than any view, any like button or subscribe. People tell me this and it just warms my heart. That's all I could ever hope for. So he got back into comic books, which is amazing. But here's the crazy part. This guy is actually the agent for the original voice cast of the Thundercats, the 80s cartoon, my favorite 80s cartoon. Yeah, that's what Epic Entertainment is. I ended up looking it up. And that's what they do. They rep, celebrities and voice actors, for Comic Cons and things like that. That's who he is. And they're doing, some special events for the 40th anniversary of the show in 2025. They're hoping to do a show out here in the Northeast. Maybe I can bump into him. But the point of this is that he threw in a stack of comic books, which are Thundercats comics by Dynamite. So these are brand new. And we have Thundercats #1 with Lion-O on the cover. We have Cheetara #1 with, of course, Cheetara. And he also gave me a Virgin variant, textless one of the Lion-O. These weren't the only ones in there. So basically what he said was he wanted to give some of these as a thank you, but he gave me some extra ones to give away. Just to be clear, he says, this is not a shameless plug in any way. He just wanted to say a heartfelt thank you. And that makes sense because, he doesn't have a shop or anything like that. He's not promoting anything. He just wanted to send these along as a thank you. So these are absolutely fantastic. And if I do get to meet any of those voice actors this summer, I'm definitely going to have them sign these. But the extra copies, he wanted me to do a giveaway with them. But as I'm looking at all these copies at His and Her Comics, and I feel really bad that Nishan is acting as my post office box, I said, hey, I have an idea, Nishan. How about you take these copies, and I will mention on the channel that after this video comes out, if you go to His and Her Comics, the first 4 people will get a copy of one of these comics. So that's it. Again, for the rest of you in this country who aren't in the Northeast or aren't in New England or even Western Massachusetts or Southern Vermont, yeah, unlikely you can make it there after this video comes out. But for those of you who are, definitely head on up there. Maybe you'll get a copy, maybe you won't. But even if you don't, definitely check out that amazing store and maybe buy something from them. Definitely. That's the least I can do is give a promotion to my favorite local comic book shop for acting as also my mailman. So that is it. Huge thank you to Scott. And I really do hope I get to see you at a show this summer and get to meet the cast of Thundercats. And that's it, guys. I got some comic books from all sorts of different places. Not all strange and unusual. I got some stuff from some friends. I got some stuff in trades from local comic book shops, of course, and online. But even if you don't find them in strange and unusual places, sometimes you find them in strange and unusual ways. And that's definitely the case with this comic book. Definitely let me know down in the comments what you think of how I got this. Personally, I think it is, as my kids would say, a little sus, but I'd love to hear your opinions as well. Let me know which of my pickups is your favorite. In the meantime, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places and ways. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.